What's up, guys? We're gonna 𝗗𝗢𝗣𝗘, and today I'm gonna be showing you guys how to make a boom bap type beat from scratch. So we gotta make an artificial sample. So we're gonna start with our sounds first, or our melody first. Now, obviously, you would use a sample, but you know we gotta work with what we gotta work with. So the first thing I would do here, so we're at 90 BPM. The first thing is I'll go to swing and put this to 10%. That's the first thing you can do, and we're just doing it now so we don't forget. Okay, so this is the sound that we're using. I'll show you the preset for the piano. It's jazzy, in noir, or you can just use any upright piano. So let's grab in a scale. We're just gonna run with, I think we do our D sharp. That usually sounds good for like lower basses and dark stuff. So let's go ahead and hop into our little piano. So let's get in here. And the first thing we want to do is make a bass line. So we're gonna place a note here. I can make this a little bit larger. And we're gonna make a chord either upward or backwards. Now, if you want a more like dark bass line, you could pull this backwards. Then all you're gonna do is just move these over. And I actually will pull these back. Very simple, right? And we're just gonna copy it over. And I'm gonna actually pull these up. And I'm gonna add some other stuff in between. Okay, I like that. So I think we can stop it there. So that is the bass line. What we're gonna do now is make some chords above. All right, so now it's time to go ahead and start our chords. So this is real simple. We're just gonna take this D sharp, pull it up here, and just make the original chord. And then all you wanna do from here is just break it up. So if you wanna take these, pull them up, I probably would actually copy it, pull it up and delete this. But you can make your chord however you want. But I'm gonna do something like this. And I'm gonna shrink these down slightly because I feel like they're a little playing too long. And then we just copy these over. And that's it. We don't need to do anything crazy. Obviously, the more time you spend on this, the better your sample will sound, but we don't have time to do samples, full samples. Okay. Pretty cool. And we can use the velocity and all this stuff, but I think it's better if we just keep this simple. And then over here, I am just going to make these a little bit longer. And then usually I would just go in and just mess around with a few of these. And then down here, pull these out. And maybe we could do like a few here. I'm gonna just copy this over. If you want to, you can shrink some up too, just to give it a slightly different sound for some of them. All right, let's listen to this part. Okay, I think that's good to start. So now what we're gonna do is go ahead and move on to our horns. All right, next up, we're gonna go ahead and start our horns. So this is the VST and sounds I'm using. Okay, so you can use any horns plugin that you want. There are no articulations, so no worries there. What we're gonna do is just go in here, and I'm gonna show you a trick. Now this works for all horn melodies you want to make, or any scale or key, whatever, right? So what we're gonna do is start on our root and make our original chord. Okay. Now this is how you're gonna break it up, and I guess I could zoom in a little bit more so you can see the notes. So your root will always be pulled up an octave. And the reason why is because this will kind of be your top. It'll kind of overtake everything down here. So obviously your root is going to be in harmony with every note in your scale. So that'll make it easily useful when you start making a melody, right? Like you can put it wherever you want. Now here, this is where you're going to have your range. So this is how you know where to go for your melody. So we could do something like this. Okay, and then the next step is we're going to take this and we're going to pull this down, and it's to mimic kind of like a bunch of horns, right? And then up here, you just make your own top line melody. And this is super easy because you could just use the same notes from over here. Maybe try something like that. Oops. Get this in frame for you. Boom. And it's that easy. So now we're just gonna pull it over, and then from over, you can do, you know, if you have like different plugins with articulations, you can do that. But for this, I think we can just, maybe we can like just come back to here, and I'm gonna just use some of the same notes just to change it up a bit, just for a little variation, and then pull this one out so they end at the same time. And then copy it over. So that is the horns. Now we're gonna move on to our bass. Next up, we have a bass guitar here. So we're gonna be using this. So let's go in here. Well, actually, let's go back. And if you look, D sharp, and then we went to the B, right? So we know this is kind of like our melody we could use. So let's just copy it in, move it over. And then of course we'll need to like add some effects and stuff to this, but it is sounding kind of dry. So let's do like a pattern like this. And if you want to go more realistic, you can, but like I said, this is just, we're trying to just mimic. We're not trying to like actually make one. Now, if you do want to make something realistic, you would hold shift and pull this over 1 to 3 times. And you would do that for most things in between, but you know, it's not that serious. And then, yeah, there's it. And we can copy that over a few times. So that is our bass. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add some effects, and I'll explain like what type of effects and stuff that I used. All right, so now I'm gonna go over the effects. Now the panning and separation actually matters for stuff like this. Again, this is very simple, and we didn't take much time to make this. So when you make yours, or if you want to make something a little bit more authentic, you would take way more time, add some plugin and stuff. But for this, I just panned it to the right and separated the piano. And that is so just to kind of put it in space a little bit. So I'll play it solo. You can see it kind of feels like it's in the back, but to the right. Not entirely, but you know, it's artificial. And then the horns, I separated them just so it could sound like there's multiple horns being played all around. So right. And then for the guitar bass, I just put it in mono. Now, typically you want your bass a little bit lower, because when you add saturation, or you add like anything that will beef up the bass, it'll be super loud. So I usually turn that down. Now for the bus, we have Shaper Box. Now this is somewhat custom. So this is the actual preset, Divine second copy, and that is right here. Okay. And then I just turned off all of this. Probably you could just delete it, honestly. And then we have this, and this is to kind of mimic a like chop, right? So we just have this little preset, and then here where the chop happens, I just pulled the volume down so that it looked like, so it like sounded like it was being chopped a bit. And then I just put an RC20 preset, anxiety, master saturation. You could copy this if you need, but yeah, this is the preset. This is what it sounds like now. And then on my master, I have the usual lifeline, and I'll turn that on too. Right, and you can go for whatever character that you want, but that is the effect section. So let's go ahead and put the drums in now. All right, so let's go ahead and start with our drums. So this is super easy. For the hats, we're gonna just throw these down like so. And a lot of times the boom bap drums, they're very simple. They don't seem that way because like the samples are layered and stuff. So just really pay attention when you're trying to learn these to what's actually going on rather than like what you hear. And then we're gonna turn these down a bit for the hi-hat velocity, just so it has a little bit of bounce. Now, if you want a little bit more, you can offset these, right? You can kind of offset them however you want, but obviously we have our swing on, so it's gonna mess with it, but I think it's just easier just to put the swing, right? And then for our kick, we can just do the typical like boom bap kick, and we would place this one not here, but here, and then just continue it, and then put this on bar so it repeats. Now, one last thing, we're gonna go to our kick in here, and we're gonna go to 1/6 beat grid, go here, and just place it here. Turn everything up. I'm gonna turn the velocity down on this. It's gonna give you that boom bap feel, okay? Very simple. So I'm gonna just play the entire thing. I'm gonna mess around with some of the mixing and stuff, but I'm gonna just play it, and hopefully it's not too loud when we turn it off. So I'm gonna play it off first. Probably turn this down. All right. All right, and that's pretty much it. That's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.